Good evening, everyone. This is Reverend Afrin with the Four Pillars Proto-Temple. So this evening I'm coming to you to discuss the philosophy and the practice behind doing um, blessings, in particular house blessings, purifications, that sort of thing. The impetus for this video is because one of my temple members was mentioning about how she was going to visit a relative and she was going to help bless her house. And so I thought other people might be interested in wanting to know about how that's actually done. And so I decided to do a little video here about some of the different things and how exactly this might be done and some of the theories behind it. So, um, starting off firstly, the concept of why it is that we perform blessings, in particular house blessings and things of that nature. The idea behind it is the fact that your environment and objects themselves as well can become muddied and imbued with general negative energy. Now, people might say, well, I think there's a bad spirit in my home, or there's a demon in my home, and I want to perform a um, blessing on that. Um, Obviously, because the Four Pillars Proto Temple is a Wiccan organization, we have a very Wiccan viewpoint on this. And so, my personal opinion is that I don't believe in the idea of demons in the same way that other people might think of demons as these purely evil beings that go bump in the night kind of thing. The way that I view demons is certainly there are internal demons, demons that we struggle with that cause issues in our lives. And generally, these demons are attachments. They're things that we can't possibly get over, and they start to interfere with our lives, be that with drugs or alcohol, be that with other outlets. Any addiction or any vice could potentially be viewed as a demon, this sort of thing that's keeping you from having a full and happy life because you're so absorbed in one thing or another. And these are the demons that we struggle with, that we have to deal with. So in that sense, I can understand that. In terms of spiritual demons whose only sole purpose is to hurt you and harm you, I don't believe those truly exist. And I'll say so, in just a moment. Now, I know that it's fun to believe in demons, and it's fun to kind of believe in that sort of bump in the night. Um, I don't believe that there are entities out there that are solely evil. Now, in my personal opinion, when we have environments that are heightened spiritually, that are spiritually charged, positive things can happen or negative things can happen, depending on how and in what way they're charged. Obviously, a place of spiritual practice, in an old church or an old synagogue or an old ancient grove, those have been imbued with spiritual energy in a positive way, and they create a very positive feeling for people that go there. If there's an environment that has seen many, many, many instances of negativity, abuse, trauma, neglect, things of that nature, and it's severe enough, I believe that that energy itself can create a very negative environment um, that could potentially lead to other spiritual issues. Although I don't necessarily believe that there is, as I said, an entity that's pure evil that does nothing but try to harm people. And you're certainly welcome to disagree with me on that. And I'm not one of those people that says, well, show me the proof. I'm not really into that. But just beware, that's just kind of my take on it. I see, demons as being more as this sort of conglomeration of negative energy that can develop in certain ways. And maybe in some cases, this negative energy, this demonic entity, is actually a thought form. It is a spiritual thought form that has been created, maybe subconsciously, through, as I said, heightened spiritual or traumatic experiences or whatever the case is. So maybe it's a thought form. Maybe it's not, like, as I said, an individual ego entity, but a thought form that's been created for a particular purpose. That is a whole nother thing. Um, so, some of these house blessings and purifications could potentially rid the area of negativity, ill will, things of that nature. The Correllian tradition views negative energy as sort of chaotic energy, energy that's very unfocused, ungrounded, and in need of refocusing and grounding. So that's kind of the theory behind the idea of negative energy. So we want to create positive environments. We want to create spiritually conductive environments for the purpose of positive magical work or positive spiritual expression. And because of that, we work to purify a space to allow those things to happen. And there are many different ways of doing that. I'm going to show you here very soon a picture of a portable altar that I set up with some of the tools you might need for that purpose. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, we know, if anyone has ever done any basic studies in metaphysics or in things of that nature, you realize that energy works on frequency, right? And generally, it is believed that energy that's on a lower frequency is lower level energy or sometimes negative energy. It's very muddied, it's muddled, it can be stagnant, it is sluggish, it just kind of brings you down. On the other hand, there's positive energy, which is generally believed to be higher level, high frequency energy. So when we perform these blessings and these purifications, we use certain modalities as a way to raise the vibrational energy in the environment, to purify the energy of negative influences, of negative energies, of chaotic, distracted, or ungrounded energies, and we work to ground those energies, or in certain cases, convert those energies into high-level energies or high-frequency energies. Again, there are many ways of doing that. The way that I'm going to show you and explain to you is one of many. So it's not the only way, but it might be a way that you could use and things of that nature as well. So I'm going to show you a picture of this portable altar that I set up with various things on it. So you'll see some different things on here that I just set up for purposes of this video to show you kind of what you can use. So let's start off with some of the basic components we have here. So you'll see here on the left-hand side, there is a bell. Now, just as I said a moment ago, the bell itself can be used as a modality to increase the spiritual vibration of a place, converting that negative energy into positive energy by raising the vibration, raising the frequency of that. You could also use sound in the use of rattles, in the use of singing bowls, which I also do have one of those. If you've seen other videos, you've probably seen it. It also includes with that singing, chanting, dancing, things of that nature to help raise the energy and raise the vibrational energy of the area. Behind that, you'll see a bowl of water. The water itself is holy water, which of course we know that holy water is created in the Wiccan tradition by mixing salt and water. Water itself is a purifying agent. Mixing it with the salt, which is also a purifying agent, greatly increases the purification properties of that holy water. Also, if you take it a step further and you look at the symbology of the two, water being a feminine symbol, associated with the, pardon my phone, associated with the goddess, and salt can also be seen as a feminine symbol as well. In some traditions, it might be seen as a masculine symbol representing the semen of the god. In this case, they're both feminine symbols. You mix those two symbols together and you create holy water. And when you're creating the holy water, there are many different things that you can say. Generally, in my opinion, the imagery, the visualization, and the energy work that you do with those two objects to make them into holy water is how they become holy. So it's not some magic words, although you can incant or incantation, speak the words to whatever effect you want to. I'm sure there are some beautiful incantations you can find online that can help you to do this. It's not necessarily required. If you are somebody who likes to be verbal and likes to use a lot of poetry, please, by all means, do so. So I'm looking back at the picture again. You'll see in the center of the altar, I do have a sage smudge stick. Now, the sage itself has purification properties. You can buy smudge sticks in all sorts of things. You can buy them with heather. You can buy them with things like mint even. You can buy them with sweetgrass or lemongrass. You can buy them with cedar or sage. They have all sorts of different opportunities for those. If that's something you'd prefer to do, you're welcome to do that. The incense smoke purifies the area. It also raises the spiritual vibration. Any incense will do. A lot of people, especially in the Wiccan tradition, prefer to use sage, maybe because it feels more authentic, or maybe because it has a different feel, a more natural feel to it. Whatever suits your needs, you could certainly use any sort of incense that you like to create a similar effect. After that, you'll see in front of the sage is a small bottle. This bottle is blessing oil. You can make your own blessing oil. You can purchase blessing oil. This, of course, is purchased, but you can use that blessing oil. I personally like to use the blessing oil when I've used the holy water and I've went around the entire space. Naturally, you'll go around counterclockwise. Counterclockwise in the Wiccan tradition is the direction of banishing. So you'll go counterclockwise around the space. You could do it just the room. If I'm doing a whole house blessing, I go room by room, starting from the center room and working my way around in a counterclockwise motion. And when I do that, I sprinkle holy water around. When you sprinkle the holy water, not only is the spiritual vibrations of the water cleansing, but the salt, which is dissolved within the water, has cleansing properties as well, and as you flick it through the air, it creates, it sort of disperses that salt out, and anything that it comes in contact with will disperse and break down any negative energies or conglomerations of gooey negative energy. Then after that, I will use the blessing oil rather, and bless each of the windows as sort of a barrier. Now, when I do that, I normally draw, you could draw maybe an invoking pentagram to invoke a sort of barrier. You could draw an equal armed cross. You could just put a dot if you want. Pardon my phone again. You could do anything that you think is appropriate in that case. Again, going counterclockwise. Now, referencing the picture again, you'll see on the right-hand side is an incense burner. The incense burner itself contains holy incense, and similar to the holy water, which is a mix of water and salt, the holy incense is a mix of incense and fire. So you light the incense with the fire and you create holy incense. So again, the words that you use to do that are up to you. Just be aware the visualization, the blessing is important, and that is the energy work that you do is how you actually confer the blessing to create that holy oil or the holy incense. Again, you could probably find some very beautiful poetry online to do that. Many manuals on Wicca have that sort of information. If you absolutely cannot find anything and you'd like to reach out to us, we'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you and give you some information. So after, of course, you've used the water and you've went around the space counterclockwise, you've used the oil to ward the space. At this point, you can use the music maker of your choice to raise the vibrational energies. Again, in a sense, banishing any negativity in the space. It also raises the spiritual vibration of the space, and it clears out all of that negativity. So sometimes that could be just enough. If you want to just do the sound, you're welcome to do that. If you feel that's enough for you in your instance, I like to do the holy water, then I go ahead and do the oil, and then I go ahead and I use the gong, the singing bowl, the bell, whatever, and then finally I follow that up with the holy incense or sacred incense that I take around clockwise from the space and purify the whole space in that way as well. So that is generally how I do a house blessing. Anyone is welcome to do it. It's just important that when you do it, that you prepare yourself properly. That means with clearing and releasing. That means with proper, what we in the tradition call psychic hygiene. That also means preparing your tools, the holy water and the incense, the holy incense, in that way as well. And of course, if you are using oil of some sort, if you make it yourself, you'll want to create it in a particular way with particular ingredients and then bless it as well to prepare that. If you've already purchased the blessing oil, again, you probably should go ahead and bless it as well before using it. And then, of course, finishing up with the sacred incense. So that's normally what I like to do a home blessing. You're certainly welcome to write or comment and see and let us know what kind of things you prefer to do. This is just a very basic tool in the Witch's Toolkit to help you to have a positive environment when you're performing your workings, when you're doing your prayers, when you're doing your any magic that you might do. Having a great environment for that is really the best thing to do. And if you want to know a little bit more about the philosophy behind purification, there is another video that I did a few months ago about purification and that sort of thing. I'll try to include the link in the bottom in the bottom of this video. So you know, check that out. Reach out to us, check our blog, and make sure to like us on Facebook. And I hope this has been interesting and informative for everybody, and I hope that you'll be well on your way to having a positive and purified space and a positive and purified practice. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, signing off for now.